If you're wondering what rainbow snakes are or how they achieve this beautiful coloration, then you've come to the right place because you're about to learn all about iridescence and some of the species that have the most. Let's get into it. So a rainbow snake is any snake that has a certain amount of iridescence in them. And there's actually a lot more than I thought there was. So what causes these snakes to actually have this rainbow effect or this iridescence? The iridescence that we see on reptiles and butterflies and all that are actually cells that are lightly stacked on top of each other called iridophores. The design of these cells are crystal-like, which actually causes them to reflect light at different wavelengths. Iridophores usually reflect blue, green, silver, and gold, which is why sometimes like on rainbow trouts or some other fishes, we can see kind of that effect as well. Now, iridophores are different from chromatophores, which are also in a lot of reptiles. These are cells that expand and contract and make certain pigments more or less visible. You can actually see this a lot in crested geckos. Most crested geckos have yellows, reds, browns, and blacks. The term that we called firing up or firing down in crested geckos is actually those chromatophores being expressed more or less depending on whether the gecko is fired up or not. And the third type of cell that actually produces color is a leucophore. Leucophore is different from chromatophores and iridophores because they actually reflect their surrounding. So if you think about an octopus, it uses a wide range of these cells all together at the same time to be able to produce all these types of colors. Not all snakes have iridophores and some have more than others. Let me show you some that actually do. Number one on the list is the Brazilian Rainbow Boa. There is also other rainbow boas like the Colombian, the Peruvian, and the other one. They're endemic to Central and South America and can grow 4 to 6 feet. Now, it's really easy to find one of these snakes, but they're also very, very popular. So they're usually around the $300 to $600 range. But Brazilian rainbow boas are not the only types of boas that actually produce iridescence. So if you want a boa, but you don't want it to be a Brazilian rainbow boa, and you still love all this iridescence, then you're in a lot of luck. Most BCI boas have iridescence in them as well. They're just not as pronounced as the Brazilian rainbow boa. I used to own a Hog Island boa, and every time I'd take it out into the sun, you could see the beautiful iridescence. And because the Hog Island boa is more of like a salmon color, it was just amazing. It looked like very bright pinks and purples to a little bit of blues and greens. So if you want a boa that shows a lot of iridescence, but you want it to be one of these BCI boas, then go for an IMG boa. So when I say IMG boa, it's not a certain species, but it is a certain morph. It is a certain trait that has been bred out to be produced. The cool thing about these IMG boas is that they're very dark. And so when the sun, kind of goes into them, the black absorbs that light, but then the iridophores in the scales actually reflect all the colors. So that it's a lot more pronounced in these types of boas. Number 3 on the list is the Reticulated Python. Now, you do have to get a certain morph to be able to see it very, very pronounced, just like the IMG boa. This one is actually a motley golden child reticulated python that you would have to buy to be able to achieve this effect. Jay Brewer from Prehistoric Pets actually has one, and it is freaking stunning, but I would never own a snake that gigantic unless I owned a zoo. I want a zoo. Let me know in the comments, do you have a rainbow snake or do you want to buy one? Are you going to buy one this year? Number 4 on the list is the Sunbeam Snake. Sunbeam snakes would probably be the best one on this list if it wasn't for the way that they kind of die whenever you keep them in captivity. They're a very elusive species and they love to burrow, so you kind of only see them when you see them. It's kind of ironic that it's such a beautiful snake, but it's never seen because it's always burrowing. You would expect a beautiful animal to be soaring in the sky or, shining in the sunlight with all its glory. But instead, it's burrowing like a shrew in the dirt. They're beautiful snakes nonetheless, and they're a snake that actually comes from a few different parts of the world: Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam. Like I said, they're not good pets. They live up to 10 years, and that's if you keep them with everything up to standard for them. I mean, you can't really hold them too long because they can die from that. They have to be burrowed, they have to have the right humidity, they have to have this, they have to have that. Just get a Brazilian rainbow boa. Number 5 on the list would probably be my favorite species of rainbow snake, but there's one problem. They're like 16 grand or something like that. They look just like carpet pythons, and they're a snake that lives in Papua New Guinea. They grow 8 to 10 feet and they live up to 15 to 20 years. Fun fact about them, the Wola tribe in Papua New Guinea actually sees them as a god. The story goes that there was this, I guess, serpent or feathered god that lost all of its feathers, and it was just such a beautiful god. But when it lost all its feathers, all that was left was the black snake with the beautiful rainbow sheen that it had to it. So in Papua New Guinea, you cannot hunt them, you cannot kill them, and they've been put on the zero quota export list, which basically means that you can't export them out of the country. It's completely illegal to do that. If you get caught, you can go to prison. And of course, that causes a cascading effect into it being very expensive to buy one, those that are captive bred at least. Odds are you actually have one that's captive bred, or you went on the black market.
There it is, the black market.
Number 6 on the list is the white-lipped python. Now, if you fell in love with the Boelens, but you don't have the money to buy one, then you would go with a white-lipped python. But there's also a catch with the white-lipped python being a lot cheaper. They are a bitey snake, but beautiful nonetheless. They're also from Papua New Guinea, Indonesia, Australia. They like it very humid. I think it's like 60 to 80%. This is not a care guide whatsoever. They can grow up to 7 to 10 feet, and they're a lot slender. They're a lot more slender bodied than the Boelen's python. The Boelen's python I would describe as more of like a pit bull kind of. I would say that the white-lipped python is more like a German shepherd. They are a very long-lived species, so if you get a white-lipped python, make sure that you're gonna be with it for 30 plus years, because that's how long they live. I think 30 is the cap. I think it's like 25 to 30 years. And like I said, they are more available, so you can probably find a good one for about 500 bucks. You can get wild caught ones, but don't risk the parasites, don't risk all that nonsense. Just get a captive bred one. It's like 100 bucks more. My choice is still a Brazilian Rainbow Boa, or maybe even a Peruvian Rainbow Boa. Those are starting to come into the market a little bit more. Let me know what kind of rainbow snake you want. And now that I got you on the subject of pythons, watch this video right here. If you want a python but you don't have enough space to keep like usually a big one, and subscribe.
All this rainbow snake talk actually made me iridescent. You guys got to be careful out there.